Welcome to EETF, episode 88, part 2 with Mike Drew. Make sure you listen to part 1. Thanks.
So you probably went to a few supermarkets over there.
That's my favorite thing.
Well,
That and record stores.
I don't even cook that much, but I love to explore supermarkets just for little things. So what jumped at you when it comes to differences?
The fresh meals.
Yes.
So that was amazing. I was talking to somebody the other day about this. I said, look, it's still a Western nation, right? It's still,
yes.
It's just like language, and obviously there's cultural differences and what have you. But one of the cool things I saw, and again, I'd seen this on Instagram, but my wife and I are big tea drinkers, right? So, and we like milk in our, when we have, so we had to get milk. And cartons of milk, again, I'd seen this on Instagram, and I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, but they have a little divot in the top. And apparently that is for people who might be visually impaired, that if they feel it, they know it's pure milk, right? It's not it's not chocolate milk, it's not strawberry milk or whatever. Okay. Actually, I never saw chocolate milk, but I saw strawberry milk over there. So it has this little divot that I guess if you run your finger, you can feel it. So we went to, and I said, when I was looking at it, and again, I've got my phone out and I'm trying to translate with it. And I'm like, because I don't want, we call it homogenized, like Homo milk in Canada, where it's like 3% fat and it's thick. I don't like that. I also don't care for skim milk where it's water, right? Yes. So water. I'm like, I want 1% fat or semi-skimmed.
Yeah.
And
so you go for 2 usually?
Well, so I'm looking at it and I'm like, but again, translates not perfect. And I'm kind of like, I think this means like 3.8% fat. I'm like, that's high. I'm like, I won't like that. It's like cream, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we were looking and we finally found this one that, and this guy at the store who worked there, he spoke a little English and he says, that's the most popular one. And we're like, okay, well, we got to get it. And it was way thick. Oh my God, it was gross. Oh. It was not good. And like for us, other people, I'm sure it was fine. And we found...
Sorry, the numbers over there, they are the same as here. So
yeah,
there wasn't any numbers on there.
Well, I think I figured out too that it was unpasteurized.
Oh,
which is unusual for us in Canada.
Yeah,
I know, again, other places in the world have unpasteurized milk, but in Canada, I don't think you can easily get it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And so I don't know if that had something to do with it, but it was also thick, and it was just, I had one tea with it the next morning, and I was like, no more, I'm done. So I had to get we finally found like a brand that was good for us. And so that worked out. But yeah, just, like little things like that. But again, because you're only in, we were only in Tokyo for kind of 6 days and then in Osaka for 6 days or whatever, you don't want to buy too much, right? Like you're not stocking your pantry for home.
Yep.
So you're kind of trying like, what are we going to get through? I'll tell you one thing that I found. So my son and I both love peanut butter, and the only peanut butter we could get was Skippy in these really small jars, and they were all imported from the States anyway.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, I guess peanut butter culturally is not maybe a thing that much here either. So even though we got Kit Kat peanut butter while we were there. So.
Okay. I mean, I know that I am interviewing you, but I still have to answer my own question about differences in supermarkets. In Spain, the supermarkets over there are, excellent, but there is this section near the meat section where there are these enormous cured hams, and the smell... It's like being slapped in the face.
Yeah.
It makes you gag almost. Yeah. I had a flashback to those.
Yeah, it's we didn't really have anything like, to be honest, none of the supermarkets I think maybe it was because we were in the big city. None of the supermarkets were huge. And I find that, and again, I'm sure there'll be listeners who, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? But like, if you're downtown Toronto, I guess maybe space-wise, you don't have a ton of huge supermarkets, right? Whereas if you move out to the suburbs, kind of like where I am, that's where you tend to get them. So, we found a couple that were, but nothing was huge. Like, so I don't even remember if some of them had delis, like, or fresh. I'll tell you one thing, produce, fruits and vegetables were not necessarily that cheap. They weren't that inexpensive, and selection varied. Like sometimes you would walk in and to a store and they would have, great strawberries, but not a blueberry to be seen. And then you go into another store and they'd have no strawberries and one thing of blueberries. And you're just like, it was pretty inconsistent. Prices were inconsistent. Yeah, that was a bit unusual, but that's just because I'm not used to it, I guess.
So groceries over there, cost-wise?
Comparable. I'd say comparable.
Okay.
Overall, yeah.
Okay.
Overall.
Good. Okay, so yeah, we can move to the next segment if you want.
Sure.
Culture clash / Zen moments. Any public behavior norms that tripped you up?
No, I will say when we went to Tokyo, it tended to, when you're walking down the road, we found this a bit unusual, but not this part. You tend to stay to the left. So the people walking towards you stay to the left.
Okay.
And the reason we found this out, whether this is true or not, but we went to a samurai museum in Tokyo and it was amazing. It was so cool. It was so interesting. But what are they called? The swords
Katana?
Katana. But apparently they keep it to it's on their left.
Yeah.
So the reason that,
because if you want to draw.
Right. So
Yes.
apparently the reason that you walk on the left is that they don't clash. Because if two samurais were walking by and the katanas clashed, then that was like, that initiated battle.
Yes.
Yeah. And it may not be like, you just might have been going to the store and he might have been going to visit his mom, right? So that's why but in Osaka, it's supposed to be the opposite.
Huh.
Like you're on the right. But I'll be honest, in Osaka, everybody's everywhere and it's chaos.
Okay.
So, well, that's what we experienced.
More chaotic than Tokyo.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know why?
No.
Huh. Okay.
Tokyo is super busy, obviously. I don't know. There's 16 million people there or whatever the number is. Like it's huge. Like, the population is huge, but it's run smoothly. People are respectful. It's clean. There's no garbage cans anywhere.
Yep. I was going to say that. So people, put their trash in their like purse or handbag and they, throw it out at home.
Yeah. Or if you're at a stand, like a burger takeout place, like a food truck or whatever, there'll be a garbage there for you because you ordered, or in like a 7-Eleven or a convenience store, there might be a garbage. But you're right. You're supposed to take it home and then dispose of it properly, recycle, what have you. And, but yeah, so Osaka was definitely more, I don't want to say disorganized. It definitely runs smoothly. And again, there's millions of people there.
Well, yeah, disorganized for them is like, clockwork for us.
Right.
know?
So again, it was like, I thought I was supposed to stay to the right, but this guy's on the opposite. And so there didn't seem to be that organization like there was in Tokyo, where it's like, you stay on the left, I stay on the left. And then, yeah, so that was that was just different for us, but it, still manageable. It wasn't a problem. So.
And did you notice, you were in Kyoto for only one day, but did you notice any different vibe over there, like chaos-wise?
Yeah, it seemed a lot quieter. But again, we didn't spend as much time as I would like. That's definitely a place I would go to again. It rained that day, and it was actually one of the cooler days at 28 degrees or whatever. But I liked the vibe, what I sensed of it, so I would definitely go back. But yeah, unfortunately, I just didn't see that much of it.
Do you remember experiencing in a different way Japanese politeness or rigidity or?
Not really. I mean, again, going back to when our Airbnb, when she forgot the key, no, everybody was very polite. In that case, I mean, she went beyond, like, look, we all make mistakes. It wasn't a big deal. And we're like, yeah, okay, we'll deal with it. No. And she came, she's like, do you want me to come in and show you it was amazing. We got, and I don't know if she normally did that, but I think in this case she did, obviously, maybe she knew since we were tired and didn't want us to blow up her place or something. I don't know. But everybody was really nice. I had mentioned the bakery earlier. I took my wife and my son down we went again, and I took them, and they were like just all smiles and super, super sweet. No, everybody was really nice. We never had, and it's funny because then you have the people, they work in the service industry. They're supposed to be. It's like, yeah, but we experience it here where it's not, right? And I'm sure there are examples there, but no, everybody was. I'll tell you one funny thing is they have a lot of, so my son's favorite restaurant is Wendy's. Okay. He loves Wendy's. And it's so funny because in situations like Wendy's and McDonald's and stuff, those international locations have totally different menus, right? I mean, they have
Yes.
the burgers and all that, but so we went to Wendy's once, and I had looked up online. They have like these fresh pasta dishes and different salads and all these things.
Oh, wow.
Dude, it was amazing. It was so different. I had this carbonara, and it was like freshly made. I'm like, this is really good. Like, it's not a bad one. And my wife got like a spaghetti bolognese, which was she's like, this is actually really good. My son got like a burger, whatever. But the first time we went, there was this huge line, and we said like, what's going on? And we thought, well, maybe it's lunch. Maybe it's just that people haven't had a chance to eat. As we got closer, we realized that they had these posters up, and it's not unusual in Japan for just different stores and retails to do like collaborations with other products or artists. Like, so Oasis right now have a collaboration with a big clothing chain over there for like these shirts and stuff that you can only get at this one store. And I have one behind me actually, but and it cost me a fortune, but that's a different story.
Okay.
But anyway, Wendy's had this pop-up that started that day. There's like a J-pop band, but it's like an anime singing group. Something quartet. I can't remember what it was called. Nighttime Quartet or something.
Okay.
And it started that day. So we didn't realize it. So we're standing, I'm like, do we really want to stand in line for Wendy's? Like, is this what's happening? We don't want
weird.
this. Yeah, we don't. But they were like selling these like little keychains, and they had this, on these little merch things, and they had things set up where people could take the pictures with, I guess, the members of the group and all this stuff. And I was just like, let's do it again, but we went into the line. And a guy came and we thought we were just in the line for the actual restaurant because it was 2 lines. And the guy came over, this guy came over and kind of waved us. And he's like, obviously his English probably wasn't that great. And my Japanese isn't that great. And he's just like pointing no. And then Ruth goes, I think he's trying to tell us that that's the wrong line for this, like where we would have been just in there to get the merch and not. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And, but no, again, that was just a situation to show like how helpful and, kind thing everybody was. So yeah, no, it was great.
If we can go back to the food thing, do you remember some big restaurant change over there?
Yeah. So the Coco Curry was one. Mm-hmm. So I did get food poisoning once.
Oh,
yeah. And that was from a restaurant. Ooh, give me a second. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to shame them right now. Yeah. So we were in Osaka, and we had a restaurant that was a 2-minute walk. We were a 3-minute walk from the train station, and 2 minutes into that 3-minute walk, you were going to walk by a chain that I had seen, and people were like, actually, it was really good. And I was like, all right, Royal Host.
Okay.
And the menu is really good, actually. Like, it's steaks and chicken and what have you.
So would you say it's like a jack of all trades, like a Swiss chalet, or?
No, better than that. It would be like,
okay.
Do you get Kelsey's? I don't know if you get Kelsey's.
I don't know what that is.
Okay,
Sorry.
I think it's an Ontario chain.
Okay.
It's definitely a chain restaurant, but it's better than a Swiss chalet. It's not super extravagant or whatever, but it's solid, right? Like you're going to have a good meal, and
okay.
They've got a pretty good selection. So anyway, I got this steak, and my wife got whatever, and my son got whatever, and honestly, we were going into town. We were just let's stop and get lunch. So we had lunch. Lunch was good. I had steak, but that's one thing. I did notice that the sides are not very big. But again, that's probably a North American thing, right? Like, I know that our portion sizes are way too big. And so they were smaller over there, which was fine. Yeah. That's a good thing. Didn't hurt my waist. And so I have this steak and what have you. And we're walking, again, an extra minute to the train station. And as we get to the train station, I was just like, I don't feel well. Something's not right. And again, it's a 3-minute walk back to the Airbnb, but I realized it's about a minute run. So, and I'll give you a tip. If you ever go to Japan, when you can buy train tickets and you can buy passes where it's good for this long or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, unless you plan on using it a ton or, it's not worth it. There's a ticket over there, and in different regions, the tickets are called different things, but you can get like debit cards almost. You can use them in shops and stuff too, but you can use them. They're mainly used for the train system, it seems. And they're, the one you get in Tokyo is called a Suica card. You can use it in Osaka and stuff too. and you can actually just use the app on your Apple phone. But my son doesn't have like a wallet in his Apple phone.
Mhm.
He doesn't have anything attached to it, so we had to get him a physical card. But anyway, so we were going to go into town, into Osaka, and we went through the thing, and we'd all tapped our cards, and I just said to my wife, I got to go to the bathroom before we get on the train. So I ran to the bathroom. It wasn't a pleasant experience.
Destroyed the bathroom.
I came out and I said, I have to go back to the Airbnb. Like, I can't, there's no way I'm in town.
Jesus.
So we go to scan back out. We haven't actually gone anywhere, right? Other than tapping in,
Mhm.
I need the bathroom, tapping back out, and it wouldn't let us.
Oh.
So the guy, we go over to and I said, like, we're trying to get, and he goes, what happened? And trying in English and in broken Japanese and Google Translate, I'm like, I don't feel well. I think I've ate something and, that's not agreeing with me. So he let us back through, and he had to fix our tickets and stuff. But my wife and my son went into Osaka there on their own that day.
Mhm.
And it was just one of those days. It was like 43 degrees. And they were like, what are we going to do? We didn't actually have anything planned that day. Like, there was nothing going on. We just thought we were going to go in and kind of explore. But yeah, the rest of that day was a write-off for me. I'm like, don't wait around for me. I'm like, go, like, just do your thing. And again, we all had our phones, right? So it wasn't like I couldn't keep in touch or they couldn't send pictures or what have you. So, but no, it was other than that was my only experience. And that wasn't even eating something, exotic or unusual for us. It was just a steak. And I was the one out of the three who didn't feel well, which is fine. And to be fair, I always say this, I would rather be the one out of the three of us who aren't feeling well, right? Because, I don't know. Maybe that's a dad thing where I'm just like, you guys go have fun. I got this. So
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't like seeing anybody else suffer, and, and then it spoils everything for everybody else. I'm like, you guys can still go. Like, don't worry about me. Just do your thing. So,
and yeah, you just, chill at the Airbnb, you're drinking some water and
drinking a lot of water.
Yes. Yes.
You start to learn the brands over there too. Like, that's the thing, that the convenience store game, like we talked about, but the vending machine game over there.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Unbelievable. But there's always public announcements, like you're at the train station or you're in a mall or something, there's public announcements, and it would come on and say, hey, it's a super hot day. You got to stay hydrated and stuff. And you would think you think convenience stores, and you think of, if you went to buy a Gatorade at a 7-Eleven here, you're going to pay like $3, right? $4. And and you're like, oh my God, I got to get a case of this, $1 each. But the convenience stores and the vending machines are not like that. You're not paying a premium.
Okay.
So, a bottle of Coke, right? Whatever, 500 mil or whatever. If you bought that at, I don't know, your local, I don't know, Circle K or whatever, you're going to pay $2.50, $3. Honestly, over there, it was like 120 yen, which is like $1.20.
Oh,
and I'm just like, wow. Yeah, you couldn't beat it. So
nice.
It's amazing. And there's one like every 100 yards.
All right.
So, yeah. But yeah, so there was a lot of intake of liquid that day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I don't blame you. So, okay, so time is flying. This is a good thing. This is no. Don't be. This is good. This is a good sign. Means that it's a good conversation.
Yeah.
But there is one thing that I would not want to skip. You showed us, or I think you posted on Instagram, a picture of some of your music purchases.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of record stores. They're all sitting beside me right now, actually. There's a lot of record stores. There's a really good chain over there called Book Off, Bookoff. And actually, there's one in New York City, which I went to last year. And, I think they're somehow related. But the ones in Japan, they are like, they sell books and they sell music and media and anime stuff. And, depending on how big the location is, the more things they'll have. Some of them sell clothing, and some of them sell booze, and some of them sell all this stuff, right?
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and watches and whatever. But the majority have music and video games and books, like I said. So the one that was nearest us in Tokyo, it's just like, here's the A's, here's the B's. It's not like, here's the Angel section and here's the Kiss section. Mm-hmm. So I said to my wife at one point, I go, you got to give me an hour. I gotta get through all this, right? And wow, like, but in some of the deals, and then I realized I didn't even know this, and she didn't believe me when I said it, but honestly, there was a record store around the corner from us at our first Airbnb. I didn't even realize I missed it somehow, and it was like a residential street. So where we were staying in Ikebukuro, I think I said it right. Where we were staying around the corner, it's still part of Tokyo, but it's you're getting out to more of the suburbs, I guess it seems. And around the corner from us, there was this record store, and I went there. It said it was open until 9:00, and it was like 7:30, and we were back for the day. And I was like, I'm gonna go around and just see what's there. And I went in, and they actually have different beers on tap. I'm not a drinker, but they had all these different beers on tap, and it was just this one guy. I was the only guy in the record store, and he had like kind of limited English, but we were talking a bit. And it was fun. He's like, where are you from? And I'm like, Canada. And he's like, are you taking these back to Canada? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so I bought 3 or 4 things there. And yeah, it was really cool. I love the Japanese pressings of records and CDs are kind of known for being superior to European and North American.
Okay.
But again, but I always prefer just getting the stuff that I can't easily get here. Right. So I bought a couple things. Like I found, I'm going to pull it out. I know this is wonderful for the visual aspect of this audio podcast, but I bought the best of Oscar Peterson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's a Japanese pressing. So I'm showing my friend Patrick right now. It's got all this, on the back.
Wow.
But I put it on today. Sounds killer.
Well, if you don't mind, you could take pictures and I could post them on Instagram along with the new episode.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's just so fun. Like if you're a crate digger where you like kind of scout, just going through things for records and like I said, books. My son got a video game at this book off that you can get in North America, I think, but it's really expensive. And he got it for like $28.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the fun thing, we went to a couple like retro. I know you and I have talked about this before, but we went to a couple retro video game stores, and my son's not looking for old systems or games for old systems or whatever. But it was fascinating, just some of the stuff that it's there's collectibles, but like the prices weren't outrageous. I was like, I could walk away from one of those retro stores with a Sega Genesis and 10 games, and it would have cost me like $100. I was like, yeah, like it's yeah, it was wild. Like, and some games obviously were more expensive and some are really rare and what have you. But yeah, it's cool. Like, it's interesting that kind of what we classify as like a geek or a nerd kind of thing it might be considered that there. I don't know well enough, but it's so big that I just don't think it is. Like, I just think it's like, oh, that's that kind of community of people that like that. And then there's this kind of community. And
maybe it doesn't have that stigma over there.
Right. Yeah. And that stigma is even disappearing here, right? Yes, I don't think it means what it did when we were growing up.
That's true.
But yeah, there was so many cool stores, man. Oh my God. I did spend a fortune, and I could have spent way more. So
did you need an extra suitcase for all your records?
If the tax man is listening, no, I did not.
Okay, noted.
Did a box arrive? It might have. I don't know. It was more for weight. Like, that was the problem, right?
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah.
It was like, I'm like, oh wow, records are heavy. Okay.
So, how many did you buy?
So I got 9 albums.
Okay.
And I think I got, actually, my CDs are right there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 CDs.
It's not bad, yeah.
So not terrible. No, not terrible.
You were reasonable.
I tried to be.
Okay.
But you know what? Like I said, like, again, I'm a bit of a bargain guy. So if I see something and I go, look, that's a deal, I'm going to get it. Because I also know, like, how often am I going to be in Japan, right?
Well, yeah, that's the biggest, question you always have to ask yourself.
Well, and I will say this, I always like to buy something that's from there in the sense that musically. So like when I went to Australia, I remember talking to this one guy at a store, and I was like, what's a cool Australian band that I probably don't know? And, they would recommend stuff. But again, because of the language barrier a little bit, it's a little different. And I was like, I don't mind when they sing in their own language. Whatever. But I obviously being a bit of a rock guy, I was like, I know Loudness from back in the day, right? That's it. And I'm like, I don't want a Loudness record. So I Googled it and I found this band called Bees. It's B''Z.
Oh, okay.
And apparently they're really big. Like they've sold millions of albums in Japan.
Huh.
And I kind of was like, what are the two most rocking of their albums? Because they have like 15 albums. So I found them both on CD for like $3. I bought two of them. I haven't even put them on yet. I'm hoping they're good, but for $3, who cares if they're not?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I'm fortunate enough to be in that situation where $3 isn't going to break me. So
Yeah. And what about your wife and your son? What did they bring back?
oh, good Lord. So one thing in Japan that's really cool is there's a lot of cool stationery stores.
Ah, okay.
And there's one that I can't think of the name of right now, but it's in Tokyo and it's like 5 stories and it's huge. And my wife was like, this is it was a really cool store, even if you're not a state but my wife was finding all this cool stuff. So she found a lot of stuff like that. There's a lot of like, I hate to say beauty supplies, but like different creams and stuff that, and again, I don't know what their regulations are. I will tell you one story really quickly. Was because it was so hot. A lot of people on Instagram, if it's so hot, here are some tips, right? Buy a UV, umbrella, buy a towel, personal towel. There was these cooling wipes. The manufacturer Biore, Biore, right? They make a lot of beauty products and stuff.
Yes.
So they make these cooling wipes. And my wife's like, we should get those because like the second day in, we're like dying because it's so hot. So we found them. So we're like, all right, great. So we get them. And my wife puts it on her neck and she's doing her arms and she's like, oh my gosh. Like, she's like, this is like, it's cold. Like you just pull it out of the pack and it's cold. So she goes to give one to my son and he didn't take, I don't remember the situation, but he didn't take, I grabbed it. And I put it, and I wasn't thinking, and I put it on my forehead because I'm steaming, right? And I'm a follically challenged man. So I put it, and all of a sudden my head starts stinging. And I was like, it's either not made for your forehead, or like, this is what chemicals am I putting onto my skin that, and it was like, no, this isn't happening. But my wife, yeah, she found some stuff. And then again, we boxed it and sent it home. And so she got that. And then my son found just a lot of like collectibles, stuffed animals that you can't of anime series that he likes and video games that he likes and stuff. And you just don't get it here. So, and Pokemon stuff. Oh my God. Pokemon over there is like,
oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's like McDonald's here. Like it's just everywhere. It's like Tim Hortons in Canada, like so much stuff. And he's like, you can't get this. I've never seen that. What is this? And it's just, yeah. So we all found our thing and it was great. But at one point we're just like, what do we do with all this now? Like how is this supposed to work? So
gonna need a new another shed or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But the cooling wipe, did you ever figure out what was in there?
Nope, but I never used another one either. So
okay. Probably some kind of alcohol thing that evaporates quickly or something.
Yeah, it was strange, but it worked like instantly. But I didn't like the sensation of it. My wife, I think, used it a couple more times. My son never used it again, I don't think. And I think that was actually one of the things we left there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, there has to be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so another question, maybe like more in a general, zooming back sense. Would you go back? I think we know the answer to that. Mm-hmm. And if so, what would you do differently?
So I would go back to Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to spend more time outside of a city. I am not a person who would like to live in a big city, but I do like visiting big cities. I know you and I kind of have similar things about that. Like, I know your love for Berlin and my love for London and what have you. But the heat and the climate at the time, we had a couple ideas like, hey, we're going to go to this mountain but it was just so hot.
Yeah.
So I think another thing would be when we went. But again, that would have to rely on
the school schedule.
Yeah, that would be absolutely. Or when I retire or something like that. But I would go to Tokyo again in a heartbeat. I liked Osaka. I don't need to go back there as quickly. Kyoto I'd like to go to. And again, those kind of more urban, we took the bullet train from Tokyo to Osaka and back. And, you're seeing all these places and you're like, I'd love to go here, but you're flying by it however many, miles an hour. So,
well, actually, you mentioned the heat. Were there many green spaces inside of Tokyo? Because otherwise, all that concrete, it must have been horrible.
Yeah. Yes, there are, but they're not huge. At least the ones that we went to.
Because you never see them like in the movies or on TV.
No.
It's like a concrete jungle and that's it.
There's not like Central Park like there is in London or in New York, or Hyde Park like there is in London, or, no. Now, could there have been and we just didn't go? Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure there are other ones, but the ones that we saw were usually quite small. They weren't very big. So I kind of wondered about that with like kids and stuff. I'm like, where do they play? Or, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I got this question here. I don't know if that applies, but, it doesn't cost anything to ask. What habits or thoughts stuck with you?
Taking garbage home with you.
Yeah.
Seeing garbage on the side of I've always been, litter drives me insane. Like, I've never understood people who litter intentionally. I get it if something falls out of your pocket and you don't realize it.
Yeah, of course.
But just seeing garbage or something on the side of it has always been bonkers to me. And just that respectfulness of their culture to not only that, but to everybody else. Yeah, that really... I'm trying not to let it make me angry here, because at times I go, oh my God, like, why can't somebody just put that in a recycling box or in a garbage bin or whatever? Or why can't somebody push their cart back to the trolley? Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
It's so things like that. I miss that. I really do. And honestly, like, I've thought about it a lot, and I'm kind of like, wow, like, but yeah, Tokyo, if Tokyo with however many millions of people can do it, I'm like, there's no reason that we can't.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'm completely off track, but I feel like it's I'm not going to say a culture of selfishness here, but like lack of civic responsibility, if you like littering and, well, I don't want to go back to that time, but, wearing masks in public, for example, you're in good health, but maybe the person next to you is not. So,
Yeah, and you brought that up. That's a great point to bring up, because we did see people in masks, right?
Okay.
And I'm sure they didn't have COVID, but, we didn't see a lot, but we saw them.
Yeah, but over there, it's normal if you have a cold. Even before COVID, it was normal.
Absolutely. Or you're maybe trying to do it to avoid it, to give it to someone else, whatever the case is. Yes. I don't know, there's everybody's situation. But yeah, you see, and nobody blinked an eye. Whereas, I remember I wore a mask, I think around the start of 2023. So it was kind of, it wasn't that initial part of COVID. And I remember being in Peterborough, Ontario, and somebody made a comment about it. And I was like, are you serious? Like, what do you care?
Exactly.
If anything, if I am sick, I'm not giving it to you. Right? So I'd like to say something really negative to that person now, but I won't. Right?
Go fly a kite.
Go fly a kite. Go shut the front door. Whatever. Yes. So yeah. But anyway, so yeah. But that's the one thing I really miss, and I think about it. And that it's funny. My wife mentioned it the other day, and she's like, "You know what I miss?" And I went, "What?" And then she said something similar, and I was just like, "Yeah." Like, and again, 90% of people in my area, right, which I can speak about, are great.
Yeah.
But 10% is a lot. And, and I'm, I could even be off there. It could be 95 and 5, but that's still a lot of people that if you're littering, you're being rude, you're being entitled, whatever. It's just like.
Those are the loudest ones usually as well.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna solve world problems tonight.
Are we? Oh God.
Oh yeah. Do you remember anything architecture related that really blew your mind? Like, a building that was incredible or...
Yeah, so I'll give you two because one's more historic. Osaka Castle is amazing. Like, it's stunning to look at. from the exterior, but inside, I mean, I'm sure a lot of it's been, I know a lot of it's been refurbished and has, different things to look at and stuff like that where, they wouldn't have had that. But Osaka Castle from the outside is super impressive. It looks really cool. There's I think it's called the Metropolitan Building in Tokyo.
Okay.
You can go up it for free and you get like the whole up high view of Tokyo.
Oh.
And it's amazing. Yeah. And the building is cool. And I think it's maybe where the municipal government is. I'm not sure exactly. But there is a bit of a green space outside and there's picnic tables and all these things. And yeah, that's really cool. The Metropolitan, I think it's called the Metropolitan Building in Tokyo.
Okay.
And, they have a piano up there. So people were like playing piano and all that.
Nice.
It was fantastic. But yeah, and the building is pretty cool. It's worth a Google for sure.
Nice. You mentioned piano, and I'm sorry, this is a tangent city tonight, but
It's all good.
I remember, this is a trend that I really enjoy, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Observing, if you like. In airports, there are pianos.
Yep.
Here and there. I remember there is one in Montreal. There was one in Quebec City as well. But I remember that one in Charles de Gaulle in Paris.
Yep.
There was this guy, early 20s maybe. And I think he played some Chopin for like a full 5 minutes and like A+, flawless. And I kind of stood to the side and I just, leaned against the wall and I just listened for 5 minutes. Amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, there was a line. There was like constantly 3-4 people waiting to go next.
To play?
Yeah. And it
Wow.
was, and like you said, mainly younger.
Uh-huh.
I don't know whether they're musical students or whatever. And again, they're playing all these, pieces, and some of which I recognize, some of which I didn't. I was kind of hoping somebody would do, I mentioned Oscar Peterson earlier. I was hoping somebody would do some like jazz or something, but like Charlie Brown, especially Snoopy, is actually quite big in Japan. There's like different stores and there's a Snoopy museum, which unfortunately we didn't get to. And I was hoping somebody would play Vince Guaraldi, Lucy and Linus, but they didn't. But actually, just on an additional, not an airport, but we were in St. Pancras last week in London, and they have a piano as well. And
Nice.
And it was cool. Yeah, there's constantly people playing. I'm just so envious. I would love to play piano.
Yeah, I took 3 years and I can't play for crap. Yeah. And okay, and I swear another tangent, sorry, and piano related at least. I was in Krakow a few years ago, and I think it was like 38 Celsius and sunny that day. So 38 Celsius is like 90, mid-90s, I think.
Yeah.
There was a smaller Jewish quarter called Saint Casimir. Or Casimir something. Anyway, the streets were narrow-ish, so there was plenty of shade there. So I was walking along, and like everyone there had their windows open, and I was alone on that street, and it was in the middle of the afternoon. And from a window, maybe like second floor, I heard someone play piano, and he or she, I will never know, but played beautifully, and I just sat on the sidewalk and listened
for
like 10 minutes. And looking back, I regret not like maybe clapping and someone would come to the window or something. But yeah, that was like a perfect 10-minute window of pure calm, and
it's the best.
Yes.
It was so funny because in this Metropolitan Building in Tokyo, like when you're, kind of going around and you're looking at, the views, it was like the perfect soundtrack. Like you couldn't, and I'm sure that's why it's there, but oh my gosh. And everybody applauded after every song. But like you said earlier, it was like these people were like, the talent is just unbelievable. I'm so jealous and envious of it. It's beautiful. Like some of it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So I know.
At some point, and I know we've talked about this before, I will do a series only on travel and everything related to it.
So many great questions you can ask people.
And like, those little stories about Krakow and St. Pancras. And maybe like I should have like flashcards and pull one out and just one word on it. And, try and come up with travel related stories with that word.
Dude, I'll tell you, the St. Pancras, so we were there for a little bit waiting for trains and we're having to, getting something to eat and whatever. And all of a sudden this one guy sat down. I wasn't watching them, but you could hear it echo through. And we were approaching it. And I'm like, I'm humming what he's playing, and I'm like, why do I know this? And it was Depeche Mode.
Oh, nice.
And I'm sitting there going, but I'm like, all I ever wanted, all I ever need. And I'm like, why do I know that? And I'm like, oh my God, he's playing Depeche Mode. But it's cool. Like, it's just, it adds so much atmosphere to the environment. It really does. Like, it's just, my neighbor, you were talking about that, sitting on that street.
Mhm.
My neighbors, there's a couple of them that play the piano, and I don't know if they still have it, but they had a piano. And if you sat in my kitchen, you could hear it.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so there's sometimes, when they're younger, right, they're, learning, and it's maybe, and then you'd hear them play sometimes, and I'm just like, I'm just going to sit here. It's just relaxing. I love it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So, no, yeah, I mean, we could keep going for.
Well, listen, listeners, I have been bugging Patrick for years. I'm like, you should just do some travel episodes, just like you said, that's a great idea. Just hold up a card that says like, I don't know, pizza or whatever, and then see what comes up, because I guarantee there'll be things that do, right?
Yeah.
So
just an idea, like, out of many. But no, yeah, it's been on my mind for too long. It will happen, and probably not that far down the road. It's gonna happen.
I'm glad we're nearly there.
Later. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, so yeah, that's it for Japan for now. Maybe there will be another one.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's fun. I know you and I have talked about our travels in the past, but it's so much fun just to. It's only a couple weeks ago for me, but it's fun to relive it. And I'll definitely pass some pictures along so you can add them. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I've never been to Asia before. We have a friend, I might be breaking some confidentiality agreement here, but we have a friend who's coming up to Canada. I don't know if I've mentioned this, who's in our group chat, and he's never been out of America before.
Ah, okay.
And he's coming to stay with me.
Okay.
And, I said, look, Canada is probably a good first step for you for this, right? Like,
yes.
You've never been out of the States. It's not that different, right? Like, it's different. It's definitely, there's differences, but it's, you're going to be fine. I think Japan is similar. Like, if you've ever wanted to go to Asia, like I still want to go to Thailand, and I still want to go to Vietnam and what have you. But I think Japan, and I'm not saying they're similar, but I think that was a good first step. Right.
Yeah.
Whereas I think going to maybe Cambodia first might have been a little bit like, oh, that's different than Japan. Right.
Yes.
A little more culturally different than here. But I think Japan was a good start, and I loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So listeners, stay tuned for those future travel episodes.
Keep DMing him. I'm sure he'll love that. Like, when's the travel episode coming?
Yes.
Come on. Let's do it. We're waiting. So
yes, absolutely. So in the meantime, Mike, where can we reach you online?
Instagram is the best. Pickies with Filters, PICIES with Filters. I probably will have it on private when you go to check. So just drop me a line and say that you heard me on the EETF podcast. And I will be posting pictures from Japan soon. I just haven't had a chance to kind of go through. Like you said, I did post a couple with like some of the records I had bought, but I haven't. I've got so many more that I could share, and I will. I just haven't had a chance yet.
All right. No rush. Awesome. So this was great.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So listeners, thank you for listening first of all. And second of all, we will catch you on the next one. Thanks. Oh, EETF Pod, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. All right. Thanks. Bye.